What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage coming live with Josh Mettle. What's up, Josh?
Hey, how are you, buddy? I saw the Facebook live streaming and I almost did this for you out of just reaction, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, well, I've watched you do my clap a few times, man, and you do it better than me. I've had to raise my game.
I'm almost there. I'm a student.
Right on, dude. So guys, I have been doing this series called How Top Producers Use Mortgage Coach. I've interviewed Jeremy Forcier. I've interviewed Kelly Zitlow. I've done a lot of folks. And today it's with Josh Mettle. And now Josh does create total cost analysis himself. And then sometimes he also has team members that do it. And then he's created an army of team members that are doing their own loans and they're using Mortgage Coach. So I want to pull that out. So this will be valuable if you're already a member of Mortgage Coach, because you're going to see what Josh does. And I'm sure you'll get some tips out of that. And then for those of you that aren't using Mortgage Coach to deliver a total cost analysis, like you're tuned into our community, you're watching our videos, this is a sales pitch. I mean, I am going to be making sure you know what it is, and I'm going to be closing you along the way. So with that said, Josh, why don't you start with your Mortgage Coach why? Like, why do you use Mortgage Coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll take a swipe off of your why. I think, Dave, you so well have said. I think that the goal of Mortgage Coach is to help consumers make better mortgage decisions and to build wealth through real estate. And really for us, it's a similar why, to help them make better decisions, to help them think through not only rate, which is kind of the only thing people are ingrained to ask the question of, what's your rate, what's your rate, what's your rate? But they never ask, hey, which mortgage strategy is going to ensure I have the most amount of equity in my property? Because in 7 years, I'm going to sell this home when I have my third kid, and the check that I get from the title company at that moment is going to be uber important to me. Nobody thinks that far down the line. So our job is to, because I've been through that process, right? I've been to the title company and went, that's a really big check, that's cool. Or that's a really small check, I wonder if I should have done something different. So having gone through that process myself with my own real estate and having helped thousands of clients, our goal is to help them think differently than how they're kind of wired to think, and to help them make better decisions and create more equity inside their real estate.
Yeah, so it's about consumer experience. And I've interviewed Josh a number of times. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to how Josh is doing refi strategies, super efficient and effective. But you've been delivering a virtual experience now for years. How many customers are you and your team helping, yearly, monthly, with a virtual mortgage experience?
Oh, geez. I don't even know that. Well, I could take a guess. We're on track to serve about 200 clients this month. And our conversion rate is approximately, let's call it 15% of the number of clients that we probably do TCAs for. So I don't know, dude, we're doing thousands of TCAs a month across my team for sure.
Yeah, and we're talking, these are not just realtor leads, these are consumer direct leads. These are, all types of lead sources. And so it's all about delivering the ultimate virtual mortgage experience. Now, before we show Mortgage Coach and what you do and how you do it, what else are you using? Are you using Zoom? Are you using BombBomb? What is your tool set for virtual connection?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think a CRM is absolutely critical because we're texting out of there. There's email campaigns. There's, like you said, we generate about 15,000 online leads a year. But that really doesn't matter. I mean, if you had a bunch of leads coming from a builder, if you had a bunch of leads coming from a realtor team, it's all the same. So we're using a CRM system that's really important for data aggregation and to keep the conversation going. We're using Mortgage Coach. We're sending video texts out of our cell phones, which is such a simple technology that very few people use. We're using Social Survey, and we're using HBM in terms of getting people. We're also using HBM and HomeBot.
Okay, so using HomeBot. By the way, guys, we just rolled out an integration with HomeBot yesterday, so Josh doesn't have that yet, but we will be demoing that soon, and maybe I'll get Josh in a few weeks to show how him and his team are using HomeBot. Cool.
Okay.
And then are you using Zoom? Is Zoom part of your virtual experience?
For sure. Yeah, and Calendly. So, the playbook is really, text somebody a link to Calendly. They schedule the meeting in Calendly, and then if possible, get them to a Zoom meeting.
Beautiful. So guys, I have a video that's 30 minutes down below. Check it out if you want to hear more scripting and you want to hear more about what he's doing on that. But let's get into the mortgage coach workflow. So before you pull up your screen and you show how you create a TCA and what a TCA is, why don't you just kind of conceptually tell people when is it time for the total cost analysis in your sales process?
And I think we did a TCA video once before, Dave, where I created a purchase TCA in 5 minutes or less. I'm going to try and do that on a refinance TCA in, around that amount of time. And so our typical flow is we receive the lead, whether that's online or from a referral partner or a past client or what have you. We reach out, we run through a scripted set of questions that are very intentional, that are all embedded into our CRM system. And at the end of that conversation, we're going to say something like, Dave, based on what I heard you say, our loan program is going to be perfect for you because it's going to enable you to put as little as 3% down. We can do it with no mortgage insurance, and we can overcome the ABCDEFG challenge you might have with other lenders. Of course, that's part of our scripting. We're asking questions, trying to figure out where those challenges might be. So what I'd like to do is build for you what we call a total cost analysis. It's actually a personal mortgage website where I'm going to show you a couple of different loan options, and then we're going to flush out which loan option is going to have the lowest total amount of cost and which loan option is going to build the most amount of equity in your home over the time horizon you said you thought you'd be living in the house. It's going to make your mortgage decision ridiculously simple. The next step, so that I can build that total cost analysis for you, is for you to complete our client questionnaire. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to either text or email that to you. As soon as you take the 10 minutes it takes to fill out the questionnaire, I will go to work on creating the total cost analysis, and it's going to be easy and fun from there.
Did you guys catch all the words? I'm going to make it easy and fun, ridiculously simple. He's not calling it client app. He's calling it client questionnaire. And then he is going to give them this awesome personalized website. Guys, every other loan officer is looking like the villain. They want to do an application. They want to give a fee worksheet. They're going to give rate, payment, cash to close. And Josh is giving so much more. So let's get into it. Let's show your screen, and let's start, just in case someone is brand new and they're like, what is a total cost analysis? If you could just show a TCA for like 3 minutes. So they're like, okay, this is what the consumer gets. And then we're going to show you how we're going to create it. So Josh, why don't you just give a quick tour of this?
Sure. So this is a total cost analysis. This is actually the one I'm going to rebuild for you. I'm going to take their names off the screen though. And here's the deal. I'm doing this particular total cost analysis because I realize we really moved the bar for these clients. And I'll go into more detail when I build it out. But here's basically what we did. The client's going to see their personal current loan trajectory. And then I gave them 3 potential refinance options. As soon as the screen pops up, it's going to prompt them to view this message. This is probably the message I recorded for them when they actually gave me the go-ahead, because we'll give a second TCA to somebody once they go under contract. And in the video, once they go under contract, we're saying, okay, you've decided to go with option number 3. We'll be moving forward on that. The next step in the sequence is going to be the mortgage loan disclosures. That's the most important domino that needs to fall, because nothing else can happen until you complete the disclosures. So if you can have that done tonight, we'd love to be able to jump in and start working on your loan again tomorrow morning. But again, our hands are kind of tied until we get those disclosures done. So please look for that email. It may end up in your spam box, so look for it there as well. Once we have those disclosures back, we're full speed ahead. Also, in the email I sent you that contained this total cost analysis, you'll notice there's 5 things that we need from you. So I'm kind of coaching them on the next steps in the TCA video once they give me the go-ahead to move forward. This and this video would be that. It would be kind of those instructions of what they can expect between then and going to closing. But in the initial TCA that I'm going to build out for you today, I'm basically just flushing out their current mortgage along with 3 potential mortgage strategies, and then I'll essentially lead them to the most logical conclusion.
Okay, so let's get ready to go into the advice engine. Now, Josh, when I interviewed Keith Collins recently, he's got a team member that's doing the setup. So, and guys, if you want to see how Keith Collins with Movement uses Mortgage Coach with a team, and then his team member gives him an email with a link, a little bit of a high level, and he goes into it. So he's never really, not often going in here. Do you ever have team members do the setup, or do you always do the setup yourself?
99% of the time now, team members are building the total cost analysis. So what would happen as a prelude to this is I'd have a conversation with you, Dave. You'd say, hey, I'm at 4.25. I'm thinking about, I've heard there's lower rates out there. And I'd say there are. We should look at all the different strategies. Let me ask you a couple of questions, Dave. First of all, do you get a monthly mortgage statement? Is that something you can download and send to me as a PDF so I can get your taxes and insurance right? Yes, great. What other non-mortgage debts do you owe on? I don't know. Oh, just ballpark it, Dave. I don't need exact numbers. Do you have a car loan? Yes. Who's it with? Wells. What do you owe? $12,000. Cool. What's the payment? $500. That's something definitely we can think about maybe consolidating. What else you got? I have $400,000 in student loans. Nope, we're not paying those off. All right. So I'm going to give you an option to just reduce your payment. I'm going to give you an option to build equity super, super quick, much quicker than the pace that you're on right now. And I'm probably going to show you one more strategy to consolidate that car loan. And then we can see if we can really go to work knocking down your principal and building equity by consolidating those debts for you. So if you'll send me the mortgage strategy or the mortgage statement, I'll go to work on the strategies for you. It's kind of how that's going.
So real quick, guys, before Josh starts logging in, I want you to notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little button where he could start recording a video. So if he clicked on that, he could record it from his mobile phone, his desktop. There's another button that says live preview. He could click on that and actually have this live interactive virtual experience. And maybe we'll close out with that. Josh, if you click on settings really quick in the upper right-hand corner, click on settings. This is where it's going to tell what his belt is. You guys can see that Josh is a red belt. Josh, there's right where it says TCA is created, there's a little box with an arrow pointing up. Could you click on that? So guys, this is the journey. A lot of you that are watching this, either you're not on the grid, you're not a Mortgage Coach member yet, and you need to be, unless you want to lose an extra loan a month. But when you log into our platform, we're going to teach you. We're going to take you from white belt, I deliver fee worksheet loan officer, to red belt. He's done over 1,000. And in Josh's case, you've done, what is that? 2,906 total cost analysis. So, Josh is a grandmaster at this. Also notice that there's an onboarding badge off to the right. So if you're watching this, guys, and you're a manager, we're going to make sure that they onboard. Like they got their picture, they got their logo. If you can scroll down that just a little bit, Josh, I want people to see the bottom. You can see that he doesn't use the APAs a lot. He could be creating a TCA through Optimal Blue at Fairway, but you're not, and you could. There's a lot of CRMs to integrate with Mortgage Coach. So if he was using some of our integrations to create it, which if you have them available, I recommend that you do, you could do that. And you notice that he got the consecutive login badge. So even though he's got an assistant helping him set up a lot, you could tell he's logging into this thing every single day. So Josh, let's do a workflow. Show us how to create a TCA so everybody gets your workflow.
Okay, cool. So this is what the process would be. And again, I would forward that mortgage statement of yours, Dave, over to one of our loan officer assistants. And then I would ask them, I kind of give them instructions on the 3 different options that I want. And then they would build this whole thing out. I'm going to go back through the process of what it would look like to build this out. And I'm going to move at a fair clip because I want people to have a feel for how fast this is once you get used to the system. And trust me, my LOAs are even faster than me because they're building 100 to 1 that I'm building now.
So bro, I got a stopwatch right here. I am going to.
Okay, it's time.
You ready? Say go. When's go?
All right, go. All right, so I'm going to put in client's name there, and I'm going to skip straight over into assumptions. I would put in the property value and I would put in the current mortgage payoff. I would then go straight into when the first mortgage payment was, what the original balance was, what the current interest rate on the mortgage is, and then I would edit that remaining balance. I'm always editing that to not only show what the principal balance is, but what I think probably a month's worth of interest is going to be. So I've got enough loan amount built in that I don't surprise now you've got cash to close. So I'm always gonna build that in, fixed rate, boom. Monthly costs, hazard insurance and taxes and MI come right off of the mortgage statement. Now I have my current property data set. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna build my first option, which is a 30-year fixed. My base loan amount was, see, my LOAs would have done this way faster than me. So I'm just copying the base.
Don't worry about it. It's 1 minute.
I'm going into my base loan amount there. I've already priced this out, by the way, through my Encompass file. So I've got my Encompass file sitting next to me, and I've already kind of built out my first option. So I'm going to go 3.25 on 360 months. Guys, I lump all my fees together in APR fees. So I know my fees complete are $17.95. I've already calculated my prepaid escrows, and they're going to be $48.86. Again, I'm looking at Encompass over here to know what that number is. And then my non-APR fees are going to be all my title company fees, and those are $17.90. Whenever clients say, hey, can I get an itemized breakdown? And I'm going to say, yes, I'll get you a loan estimate once you give me the go ahead, but they're going to match these numbers. Trust me. All right, then I'm going to throw in taxes and insurance. Looks like I had already thrown those in. This is my new mortgage insurance factor. Make sure you always have
2 minutes.
You always have your cutoff at 78%, because if you don't, then it's going to show a really off APR. From here, before you copy any other options, what I would recommend you do is go over to the analysis, jump in the adjust reinvestment strategy, and just take a real quick look. Does this make sense? My loan amount was 364. That was the base. Once I added in my closing costs, it's 373. Check, that makes sense. My interest rate and MI is going down, so I'm saving $156 a month. That all makes sense. And cash to close is negative 31 bucks, meaning they're getting $31 back. Perfect, check. So far, that strategy works. Now I'm just gonna go to a second option. I'm gonna copy from my first option. And this option is exactly the same as the first option. Everything's copied over, except I'm gonna pop back over to analysis. And now all I'm gonna do is go into my adjust reinvestment strategy again, and I'm going to put $156.17, which is the amount that they're saving each month. We're going to re-put that towards principal. So check, mental check, when does that pay off their loan? 25.92 years versus the track they're on. Yep, that makes sense. And still they're getting $31 cash back. So before you copy a strategy, always go in and make sure that it kind of makes sense before you duplicate it. So now I'll go into my third option that I wanted to create. And with this option, what I did is I stuck in my base loan amount of $364,785, and I wanted to get them 1% cash back. So $364,785 times 1% equals, let's call it 3,600 bucks. So I'm going to take my 364,785 plus 3,600. With Freddie now, you can get 1% of the loan amount cash back. You're not capped at 200. So I'm going to show them 368,385. That should get them about $3,600 cash back. Everything else, oh, guys, I didn't copy. So let me back up. I'm going to go back to this. I need to copy from my 30-year fixed, 360. And then once I've copied, all I'm going to do is change my loan amount. 368,385. Make sure my closing costs are all in there. You can see I've added that to the loan amount. That's all good. Monthly costs did copy correctly. Now I jump back into my analysis, my adjust reinvestment strategy. Now check this out, guys. They're getting $36.31 back. They also told me that they had a $12,000 car payment, and that was $500 a month. So I'm going to say I'm going to pay off your car. I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. That's going to save you $500 a month. Plus your mortgage is going down $139.36. So in your principal reduction, I'm going to put $639.36. Now we're going to pay off their mortgage in 18 years. Now I'll walk you through how I'm going to do this, guys. But essentially, that is done. I'm going to my presentation.
5 minutes, by the way. So guys, a complex concept, you know, multiple options, mortgage strategies, pure value, and he's ready to go. Now he's done this a few times, but remember, guys, he was talking while he did this. Plus, he has a production partner that's doing the setup most of the time. Within 2 to 5 minutes, you guys can create the ultimate mortgage experience. So, Josh, walk us through how you're going to present this, and then I have a few things that I want to demo for folks. And if you could click the video button, because I know you add a video a lot, and I want to make sure people know how that works.
Yeah, I'm jumping in there next. I just want to make sure I got this all set up right. Okay, I am done with this total cost analysis. So however long that took, and then I would literally go to preview. I'd put in the date. I'd hit record video. Now this probably isn't gonna let me record video, Dave, because I already.
Well, I know, but just click it because I want them to see the menu. We're not gonna actually do the video, although I do want people to hear what it's like. So in a minute here, you're gonna see 3 options. One is if you click mobile device, it'll pull up on your mobile phone. So don't click it. It will actually knows your number. It'll pull up with a video camera ready to record. You can do it on your desktop, or you can add an audio note. But guys, add some type of personalization. At the end of the day, the way you optimize experience, the way you optimize conversion, and the way you optimize the value you bring is you put your narration on top of your mortgage options. Josh, what do you usually click here? Do you usually, click video from your desktop?
Web browser. It's just fast and easy for me. I know there's a little bit higher quality with the phone, but for me, it's fast and easy, and the quality is, look, I'll bring this one back.
That's fine.
Whoops. Oh,
well, then let's do this. Let's go back to the window, and then I want you to pull up the live feature. I want you to describe the live feature, but I also want to hear like what that video scripting would be like. So go back to the advice engine, click preview, upper right-hand corner, preview and highlight. How often do you use that feature, Josh?
Oh, and anytime I can get somebody on the phone live. That's the primary. We always try and drive them here. Ideally, if you can drive them here on a Zoom meeting, it's super, super powerful. And then if you can't get them on a Zoom meeting, but you can get them at least online and you can go through this live with them, it's super powerful. People think they think you've got voodoo magic power when you start controlling their screen.
Beautiful. So guys, by the way, Josh, well, let's not do that. We do have about 20 people watching us live on Facebook right now. Guys, if you have questions and you're watching this live, let us know. Larry Baytag just said, you guys rock, most beneficial tool ever. 2020 needs to be built on MC. Thank you for that. And then he said, Josh is the bomb, and virtual is the new direction. Thank you, Larry. We appreciate that, dude. All right, keep it rocking, dude.
So let me walk you through this, and I'll just kind of do a dummy video, because what I would have done is I would have pulled up a video and I would have went something just like this. Dave, dude, thank you so much for the opportunity to earn your business again. I love serving you and your family. And thanks for getting your mortgage statement over so quickly. That really makes my job easy. So here's what I've done. The low-hanging fruit here, Dave, is just for me to sell you a 3 1/4 rate and shuffle you down the conveyor belt, and then you can go deal with my processor. But I love you too much for that. So I spent a little time thinking about what would be the best strategy for you and your family, because what I know is this. I know that sometime in the next 10 years, that's the national averages, you are going to sell this home, and that's how long most people stay in their homes nowadays. And the day you show up to the title company, what's going to be the most important thing in the world to you and your family is the size of the check. You don't want a little check. You want a big check when you go to sell this house. So I want to show you strategies that'll help you maximize your equity, and also pay as little interest as humanly possible. So those are really our 2 goals. So if I can direct your attention to the top left-hand corner, in the summary section, you'll see I've charted your current mortgage strategy. That's your current loan trajectory. You're going to pay that loan off in 29 years. And if you scroll to the bottom, Dave, of the total cost analysis where it says interest and MI over 30 years, you're going to see that you have about $285,000 in interest ahead of you if you were in this loan for the life of the loan. That's way too freaking much interest, dude. We got to get that down, okay? So the first strategy, which is like the dud, no-brainer, what any loan officer would tell you to do strategy, is let's just get you down to 3.25. You save a point, closing costs are minimal. We're going to take care of you. You're going to save you're going to save $156 a month, $1,800 a year. That's not bad, man. And if cash flow is the most important thing in your universe right now, that is not a bad strategy. Although it is not the strategy that's going to give you the least amount of cost and the greatest amount of equity. So the next strategy that I wanted to show you is we do the same loan. We do the 30-year fixed. We drop your interest rate. We'll take care of you on the closing costs and make sure you're in good shape there. But instead of you putting $156 more a month into your checking account, I want you to set up an auto pay with the same payment you're paying now, $2,370. Instead of putting that money in your checking account, you're going to put it in your savings account, in your equity of your house, and that's really going to cut down on the amount of interest you pay in your loan. By the way, that's going to pay your house off in 25.92 years. So if you're in that home longer, it'll be paid off quicker. And if you scroll to the bottom of the total cost analysis, you're going to notice over the life of your loan, we're going to save you $64,000. Excuse me. With the reinvestment strategy, Dave, I apologize. We're going to save you $98,000. So, you know, instead of saving $65,000, you save $98,000, almost $100,000 with the reinvestment strategy. And you probably don't need the $156. If you reinvest it, that's a great way to go. Now that's a killer strategy. It's not the best strategy. So here's the ninja move. What we're going to do, Dave, is we're going to pull out $3,600 cash the day of closing. That's the maximum amount of cash I can pull out for you without this being considered a cash out refinance. We're going to close your loan on July 1st, which means you're going to skip your July and your August payment. That's another 5 G's in cash we're going to free up. So that's $8,600 in cash we're going to free up there. Then we're going to get you a full refund of your current escrow account. Your current escrow account has between $4,000 and $4,500 in it. That means you're going to get between $12,000 and $13,000 cash back. You're going to take that money that you saved from all of those different sources. You're going to pay off your car. You're going to free up $500 from your car allowance. Plus, you're saving $139 on the mortgage. And you're going to use that $639 we just freed out of your budget. And you're going to pay that back towards your home. What is that going to do? Pays off your home in 11 years. And it drops your interest from $284,000 to $128,000. So we're saving you $150,000, and you have the exact same amount of dollars going out of your checking account every month because the car's gone and we're saving you $139. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. If you just need to really free up $639 a month for other investments or some other use that's better than the house, we should discuss that. There's 4 more info tabs in the presentation. I'd encourage you to click into all 4, and then let's me and you jump back online for 3 minutes and review this. We'll pick a strategy. We'll get this thing knocked out for you. Thanks again, bud. Looking forward to working with you.
Love it, dude. Love it. Do you ever call out the social survey reviews at the bottom, either in person or in video? Is that, or do you just let people see it if they see it?
I don't call it out. I think it's a little bit like saying, you know, look how straight my teeth are. I don't know. Dude,
we're playing off each other here. So Josh, go back to the call it the advice engine. Now, do you think that Mortgage Coach in delivering a total cost analysis versus the fee worksheet, it is helping you close extra loans? Like, do you think it's an extra loan a month for most loan officers delivering this elevated experience?
For sure. I mean, that's not even a question. I mean, it makes people's decision. I mean, dude, imagine trying to explain this strategy with a fee worksheet. It's just 100% impossible. And when you change the dialogue to something like this, it puts you in a whole different category for that client. You're not a salesperson. I've have crossed that bridge and made it to the mountain way beyond that. And I'm starting to give them information and ideas on how to build wealth that they just, quite frankly, could not have come up with. And most financial advisors couldn't even come up with that because they wouldn't know how to do what I'm saying to do and then how to use that capital. And even if they could, a lot of them have laws that they can't make those kind of projections for them because they're restricted. So 100%.
And in terms of time savings, because not everything is as complex as this. Sometimes you're doing purchase options. You're just saying, hey, here's down payment options. Do you feel that it saves you time? And if so, just speak to the time savings.
Yeah, like for example, I just thought of another option that would be really rad. So instead of me having to go back in and recreate the wheel, all I'm going to do is just copy the strategy there. And then let's say instead of them taking that $639 and putting it towards paying off their mortgage, maybe we looked at their situation and they're 50 years old and they've got $5,000 sitting in a 401k, and you're like, dude, are you going to work forever? So we could just go in and stick it in savings payment, investment balance, investment payment. Is it here, Dave, where I put in their investment each month?
Yep.
639.36. So now I just go 639.36, and we're going to put that money to work over there. And then I need to go back over assumptions, current mortgage. Where do I put in their investment percentage, Dave? Do you remember?
You passed it. It was in the analyze. Go back in the analyze screen and go back into analyze. Go back into the prepay screen.
Oh, here?
Yep. And then go back into that.
Oh.
And then you'll see there's a rate of return right below that. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so no, I swear that's not it, because that still shows just 230,000. There is, I think that's if you have a lump sum, but somewhere, if you're going to do a monthly, I swear. See this?
Let me just speak to it, guys, because I want to be respectful of your time, and you've gone a few minutes over what you've allocated. But guys, you could, instead of showing the prepayment strategy, you could show and invest the difference. So instead of taking that money and prepaying your mortgage, let's take that money and put it in your 401k, or let's take that money and put it into some type of, return on investment account. And that's what Josh is playing with here, guys.
Yeah, so let me just show you real quick, Dave. So then while I've got somebody on the phone, let's say I wanted to enter this strategy into the mix, I could toggle between my total interest, and I could toggle between their net worth. And
right.
There we go. So I could say, look, if we go with any of these initial strategies, in 30 years, this is what your house is going to be worth based on a 3% annual appreciation rate. But if we take that $639 a month that we saved for you, and you invest that every month, that's going to turn out to an investment account of $642,000 plus the value of your home, which at that point would be free and clear. And now you've got $1.6 million. That's a lot better trajectory than what you're currently on for your savings. So we either pay the home off super quick in 18 years, or we funnel that money into some aggressive investing.
Boom. Guys, he's completely changing the game. And so here's the decision. If you're watching this and you're not a Mortgage Coach member, the question is, do I pay $120 a month? Because that's what it costs to buy Mortgage Coach. No commitment, no setup fee. If you're with a company that either provides it to their loan officers or subsidizes it for their loan officers, it might cost you less than that. But do you sign up and start giving every family a total cost analysis like this one? Or do you pay with loans? That's really the question. Status quo, you pay with loans, get on the Mortgage Coach bandwagon, be part of our community. And then remember, all you need to do is sign up, and I'm going to put a link down below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link down below to sign up for Mortgage Coach. And when you log in, we just start pushing you. We're within the product, you'll have videos. So while we have a YouTube channel with 1,000 videos, countless interviews, lots of content. We're taking the best and we're putting that into the advice engine. And if you're a white belt, we're going to give you white belt videos to get you to orange belt. If you're an orange belt, we're going to give you blue belt videos to get you to the next belt. So within our platform, we're going to teach you, we're going to train you, and we're going to turn you into a red belt like Josh. So Josh, any closing comments? Why don't you stop sharing the screen unless you want to show something, and let's you and I just riff for a minute before we wrap it up.
Yeah, closing comments. You know, your last question was, does it help you from a time perspective? And what I would say is when you start building TCAs, there's going to be some frustration and you're going to have to figure out where those buttons are. Like, obviously I haven't built that particular function because my team's been doing it for a while. So it took me a minute to figure it out. And so it'll be, sometimes you have to slow down a little bit to go faster. But once you get it and it becomes muscle memory to you, what's so easy about that is now I can, okay, well, what about a 15-year option? Well, great. All I do is copy my 30-year option over. I plug in the rates for a 15-year and I add that to the total cost analysis. It literally takes me 15 seconds. That's a lot faster than creating a new fee worksheet based on a 15-year and then toggling back and forth. So it definitely saves you time once you get into it. And as clients ask you for different iterations, especially if you're dealing with, you know, like let's say that somebody's looking at 3 different properties and they want 3 different financing proposals. We can do that all on one total cost analysis, copy, make the slight adjustment, copy, make the slight adjustment.
Love it. And what were the 2 or 3 things that you did when you first got on the team to help you learn? I remember when you first started, like at TCA number 6, you're like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to be fast enough. And I think somewhere between 8 and 12, you're like, between the feedback you got from the market and you got it under 10 minutes, but like, what was it? Like, what advice do you have to anybody that's just like, they're white belt and they need to get over the pain of change?
A lot of people are extremely busy right now. They're dealing with a lot of velocity. You know, the emails are building up, the phone calls are coming in. And so to think creatively and to create new muscle memories and synapses firing in different ways, it's hard to do that when it feels like there's a fire hose to the face. So my advice is, if you're super busy, but this is something you want to tackle, time block yourself an hour to build a total cost analysis for a client before your phone starts ringing. So if your phone starts ringing at 7, then just come to the dang office at 6 o'clock, or we're all working at home from 6 to 7, just spend an hour and have it dedicated to building that total cost analysis when you're fresh. If you're a night person, then wait till the phone stops ringing. And at 7 o'clock at night, build yourself an hour. And if you try to do this while the pace of business is super fast, it's like trying to get on a highway where everybody's doing 100 miles an hour. It's going to be intimidating and you're going to get frustrated. If you wait till there's nobody on the highway and then you pull in, it's going to be a lot easier to do. So earmark your some time when you're not super busy after or before hours, and then do at least 10. If you do those steps, you'll be successful and the rest will be history.
Got it, guys. So engage in our Facebook group, Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will always be providing leadership interviews like this one. Josh, dude, you are such a gift to the Mortgage Coach community, bro. I am so grateful for you, man.
Thanks, brother. Happy to do it. Have a great rest of your day, brother.
All right. Thank you, brother. Take care, everybody.